When it comes to that business opportunity, when it comes to that love offer, that new friend, you can be enticed by the glitz and glamour of it all, but you must be validated by the facts. My name is Comet, and welcome to Just Another Magic Monday, aka your weekly horoscope series where we break down not just what's happening within this week's astrology, but how you can co-create with this week's astrology in order to live your most aligned and most magical life. And this week is extra important because there are some snakes in the grass. There are some snakes in the grass, and I say that not in a fear-mongery way. If you're used to me and my channel, that will never be my style of astrology. I simply translate the stars to empower you and let you know where there could be some potential snags. And all I'm saying is this is an important week to be discerning and to allow people's actions to speak for them, to allow the facts to validate what individuals are telling you. And if there is something that's coming on too much too soon, take that as a red flag. Because when it comes to this week's astrology, there's a very exuberant, excessive vibe baked within. We have Venus square Jupiter. These are the two benefics making a harsh aspect within the cosmos. So there can be a business opportunity that's very, very lucrative. There can be somebody, perhaps somebody from the past, Venus is retrograde, who comes in, sweeps in with this amazing love offer for you. There can be a new friend that you meet that is just telling you how beautiful and special and wonderful you are. But it's so important this week with Mercury stationing retrograde and the sun ingressing into Virgo that you take a moment to really review what is being presented. And if there is any alarm bells that ring around something feels too good to be true, take this opportunity to slow down and to review the facts of the matter, because we have Mars opposite Neptune this week. So to a energetic level, we can find we're a little bit more drained, okay? But when it relates to people's actions, they could be promising you a lot, pouring a lot into you with Venus square Jupiter. Oh, this business opportunity is going to make you this much, or oh, this love offer, we're going to do all this together, or this new friend telling you how wonderful and special you are. Like there's a lot that's being offered, but with Mars opposite Neptune, it's not materializing via people's actions because Neptune dissolves what it touches and Mars is our physical actions. So it's almost like somebody who sweeps in on their, white carriage, I guess in modern day, it would be sweeps into your DMs with this whole story about this, that, and the third and how they're going to be different this time. You guys are going to run away together or what have you. But with the energy of Mars opposite Neptune, you can be like, okay, you're promising this, that, and the third, but you're not doing anything about it. Or like with this new friend, you're telling me how wonderful and special I am, yet you're taking advantage of me and my generosity. Yes, this business opportunity, they're promising me that I'm gonna make all this money, but when you review the fine print, it's like, you're not gonna do a whole lot. You just want a cut of what I have going. I'm not saying every offer that comes your way is necessarily bad or someone trying to manipulate you or someone trying to fool you. All I'm saying is that when you walk into this week's astrology, do so with a little bit of caution. We've got Venus retrograde, Mercury stations retrograde this week. This is not the time to bulldoze forward and to believe people's promises without their actions as well as the facts backing it up. And the logical Virgo energy is going to support you with this, as well as Virgo Mars trining Pluto, which is really around what's happening under the surface. What are these people's actions telling me? What's the fine print? What's really in this contract and this new business opportunity? What is this person really promising me with this love offer? What does this new friend really want from me? Like there is this energy around being able to dive deeply this week to investigate, to dive deeper. Maybe it is a great opportunity. What I want you to be conscious of is just in case it isn't. So we will be breaking down all of this energy thematically as well as day by day, what you need to know before you move into this week's astrology, or perhaps you're listening at the end of the week. I've noticed that more and more. A lot of people have been listening at the end of the week. So if you are an end of the week watcher, let yourself be heard, seen, felt in the comments. And while you're down there, what are you guys sipping on to start your week, to end your week? Welcome to the Cosmic Cafe, which is just a little segment where we chit chat about what it is that we are sipping on. Today I made an iced vanilla latte with like some iced coffee creamer that's vanilla, oat milk, almond milk. I'll put a little thing of it here. It's fabulous. It's like vanilla sweet cream. So I made a latte using a little bit of that, a little bit of almond milk. It is absolutely fabulous. Let me know what you are sipping on to start the week. We need need caffeine, if we're going to really spot the details this week, which is important with Mercury retrograde. So I'm gonna put this down so you don't have to hear the straw clink, but cheers, my loves. Here's to a week to being very discerning as it relates to individuals over-promising and under-delivering. So hello, welcome to Vibe Check of the Week, which is essentially a segment that we do here on Magic Monday to get you familiar with the whole of this week's astrology. So just in case you can't remember the intricacies of Mars ingressing into Libra and Mercury stationing retrograde in Virgo, if that sounds like a lot of gobbledygook to you, we essentially take all of those influences and compare it to a real life scenario where you may not know what exactly to expect with Mars trine Pluto, but perhaps you can relate in some facet to the tale that I will tell you to understand how these themes can come to the surface within your universe. So this week's Vibe Check of the Week, we are going to say that you are a YouTuber, you are a podcaster, you are a content creator. And I know a lot of you are, so hopefully this is relatable, but again, you could just sub this in for whichever industry you are in. You will say that you are a content creator and your channel is starting to do well. And the downside about your channel doing well or anything that's really doing well in life is that people come out of the woodwork and they want a piece, okay? And if you're new to it, you can believe people's promises, right? So we'll say you have this YouTube channel, we'll say it's a crafting channel, you're crafting Carrie or DIY Darcy, whatever. You are a crafting YouTuber and it's starting to do well. Your crafts are starting to blow up. And with that, you're starting to get emails from these talent agencies who are saying, hey, we love your channel, we love your style, do you have representation? We would love to represent you. We've gotten our clients featured here and here and here. We can get your videos to surpass 5 million views within the algorithm. We have the connections in order to make sure that your channel is a success. Now that you're reaching new levels, you're going to need new support. And you are so excited. You're like, this is exactly what I need. Like, things are going well, and I just need people who are in the industry who can guide me into the next level to ensure that crafting Carrie, DIY Darcy, Carpenter Chad, whatever, whatever your channel is, you want the tools to be able to make this channel as best as it can be. So you jump on a Zoom with this individual who is getting you so excited about working with this company. They have connections to the DIY crafting YouTubers that you admire, the ones that you look up to. They're promising that they can get you brand deals that are like 6 figures. They're promising you, like, working with us within a year, you'll easily hit 10 million subs or what have you. They're throwing these major numbers your way and it's easy to get swept away. They have a nice little PowerPoint. The person that you're chatting with is so charming and they're like, okay, so sign, right? Sign. And part of you was like, should I just sign? Because in the call, they said, our only cut is that we take 20% off the deals that we get you. So if we sign you to the 6-figure deals of the brands we're already working with, we can get you in connection. It would be not so hard. Check would be in your account within 2 months' time, right? And they would just take a 20% cut. That's money that doesn't exist. So in your mind, you're like, okay, well then, yes, this is literally a win-win, right? Then you remember, you listen to Magic Monday and you remember how Haley Comet and the overall astrology this week was saying to take a moment, to slow down. And they're putting the pressure on, right? They're saying, we really don't work with a lot of clients. We only have an opening for one. We have another meeting with another crafting YouTuber later who might want this spot instead of you, like they are pressuring you to sign. But you take a pause. You're like, hey, I can call you back in 2 hours. I just need some time to review this contract. And furthermore, you just have a weird vibe, right? And so you review the contract and you realize that it's not just 20% on the business that they secure you, it's also them literally taking charge of your AdSense, which is basically just how you get paid on YouTube. They want 20% of that. And in fact, it says within the details that it goes to them and then they pay you 10 days later, your 80%, they take your 20, but it goes to them firstly before they pay you from an account that you created. And you're like, huh, that's a little weird. And then you're looking deeper and you're looking deeper and you're seeing that this contract is promising a whole lot of nothing. That glitz and that glamour, the PowerPoint, all of the promises, this contract isn't indicating as such. And luckily you do your research, you talk to other creators who who have signed in this contract and say, yeah, this is literally a company who does nothing. They delivered none of the promises. All they do is just take their 20%. They're literally siphoning off of your hard work. You're so glad you didn't sign it and that you used discernment. And that's what I want you all to keep in mind, both this week, but also in general. And I just want to say, I meet with a lot of you. A lot of you are entrepreneurs. A lot of you are content creators. And I just want to say, be so discerning. Be so discerning about what it is that you sign and who it is that you partner with. Because it's easy to be swept up in the glitz and the promises around we can do this, that, and the third for you. But again, there is a lot of leeches out here who want to siphon off of what it is that you have built and what it is that you have created. And I say that not to scare you, but just to remind you, be discerning. And so not all of us are going to feel this in regards to a business opportunity. Some of us are going to feel this in regards to a love offer, somebody who love bombs you. That's really what this week's astrology is giving me, is this energy of somebody who puts you up on this pedestal. Like with Venus square Jupiter, this is energy around, oh my gosh, you're the best. They put you on this pedestal, right? But with Mars opposite Neptune, they don't deliver on that. They say that they love you and they say you're the best person ever and oh my gosh, you're so special. But like with Mars opposite Neptune, when push comes to shove, they're not there. They never materialize. They put you on this pedestal and say that you are the most talented, the most beautiful, the most amazing person. And that flattery can feel good, right? There are aspects of this week that feel very good. Venus square Jupiter is feeling good, right? So we'll talk about that because I don't want you to feel like this week is all about people who could potentially manipulate you, okay? But what I want to say here is that with Venus square Jupiter, it's that energy of somebody love bombing you. You are the best. You're so special. You're so beautiful. You're so talented, which can come up in a business sense too. Okay, be discerning of a lot of flattery. Yet they're saying all of this, but their actions are not in alignment with what it is that they are saying and the love that they say that they have for you. It's like if you really thought I was so beautiful and special and talented and wonderful, why are you not planning to come see me? With Mars opposite Neptune, why are you not helping me with this major task or this major issue within my life? Why is it when I need you, you disappear? But yet I'm the most special and wonderful and talented and what have you, whatever you were saying, person. There's a mismatch here. And so when it relates to this week's astrology, the overall vibe is sort of like over-promising. That's Venus square Jupiter. It's things that feel good. You can make all this money. You are so loved. Under-delivering, that's Mars opposite Neptune. Because to an energetic level, this could be just feeling drained, like not having the energy to pour into this. So maybe you're even doing this unintentionally. Maybe you're the side of the Venus square Jupiter where it's like you're promising to your coworkers because you're in a good mood, like, oh, hey, yeah, I can take that for you. I can take that for you. But then you realize you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so drained. I have no energy at my disposal. So just be cautious. What it is that you commit to this week? We have Mercury stationing retrograde. So refinement is going to be important, whether it's reviewing that contract, whether it's reviewing that love offer, whether it's reviewing your schedule. Important to go slow. The sun entering Virgo will be helpful for this, whether you're taking a discerning eye to looking at the contract that a talent agency is sending you, or you're taking a moment to say to your ex, like, hey, can we just take a second before we get back together? I just need some clarity. And when someone's coming hot and heavy like that, it's kind of hard to find that, right? And if there's a new idea that you have that you're feeling good about it, with Venus square Jupiter, take it slow. Review the details. You know, with Venus square Jupiter, I want you to know that there is an abundance of love to be had. Like there are people that you have not even met who will love you, genuinely love you, and not in that like love bomby way, okay? There will be business opportunities and contracts that you sign that will be fair. There are friends that you will make who will adore you in a genuine way and not seek to gain anything off of you. That all exists within the world. So I don't want you to view this from any scarcity or being jaded about the world. There's lots of sweetness everywhere. There's lots of love everywhere. There's lots of financial opportunities for you everywhere. You just need to place your energy intentionally to ensure it's the right ones for you and the right ones that are built on a solid foundation, because you don't want to start this new chapter with a lover, with a friend, with this business opportunity and realize this beautiful beach that you were sold is actually just quicksand. So we'll be taking a deep dive into this energy day by day. I just have a couple of quick notes before we dive in. First being, I live in a noisy city. Today, at least, we don't have to listen to YOLO outside, but there is some sort of, I couldn't tell you what's happening. It sounds like it's a vacuum construction. It's been going on all morning, so I just apologize just in case the mic catches up on that and it is bothersome. It's bothering me too. We're in this together. and all times that I mention will be PDT, so please adjust to your time zone if you are not located in California, the West Coast of the United States like I am. And if you're new to my channel, I do have a tendency to talk very fast. Please play with the gear icon. You can speed me up, you can slow me down, put me at whatever pace aligns with how it is that you process information in order to make this Magic Monday as magical as possible for you. Wow, right after I made that announcement, it stopped. Talk about Mercury Retrograde. Oh my gosh, that's what's important about Mercury Retrograde. You gotta keep a sense of humor. You gotta be able to giggle. At the moment I acknowledge the noise, now it's done. So that's good news, I suppose. But let's go ahead and take it into our astrology forecast for Monday, August 21st. So welcome to your astrology forecast for Monday, August 21st. So the moon starts the week and the day in the sign Libra. And Libra is an important sign to keep in the forefront of your awareness this week, because we also have Mars, the planet of action and assertion, entering Libra at the end of the week. Now, Mars doesn't typically like to be there. Libra is much too peacekeeping and fair for Mars's liking, but it is important this week that we are seeking to create balance in all things. Like ideal business partnerships, like those contracts that are a good thing to sign, should be very, very clear around how both parties are benefiting, right? If you are in a relationship, it should be very clear that both people are highlighted and celebrated and getting their needs met within the relationship. Balance in all things, as well as just ensuring when it relates to relationships, friendships, what have you, that they do progress at a balanced pace. There can be a tendency, we have Venus in Leo, which can rush in hot and heavy. It's squaring Jupiter, so it's like, I like you, my heart's with you, I just want to rush into the connection. But the energy of Libra is like this energy of balance. Like I'm learning about you, you're learning about me, things are progressing at this pace, right? So the moon starts the day in Libra. So moving to this week in this balanced pace is important. And as well as it relates to Monday's astrology, strive to handle the important tasks, the important emails earlier in the day. Either get them done before 1:31 p.m. PDT or after 4:22 PDT, not in that 3-hour window because the moon will be void. Now, we might be dealing with some intense emotions on Monday. The moon passes the south node and it squares Pluto. We can feel like our energy levels, our emotions might feel like it's going to a very dark place. And like I said, remember balance this week, because the square to Pluto, we can be feeling quite obsessive on Monday. Maybe something went wrong at work and you're just obsessing trying to fix it. Or maybe you had a weird conversation with a friend and you're just obsessing about how weird that was. Or, you met somebody over the weekend and you're obsessing about getting a text from them. Like there's like this obsessive energy that you're just gonna want to be mindful around. Okay, let me balance, let me take a break from this work project and let me go to this work project. Let me take a walk, let me call a friend, let me shift focus. Because with the energy of moon passing south node, either you can be made aware of right now certain things that you're ready to let go of. You could just feel like your emotions are kind of in an intense place. And it's important to remind you, this too shall pass, okay? Just try to find balance. If you're spending a lot of time alone, maybe strive to make plans with a friend. Maybe if you've been so busy, maybe strive to do absolutely nothing. This too is important to recalibration. So balance in all things. Too much, even of a good thing, is a bad thing, okay? That's important to remember this week, especially with Libra's ruler getting ready to square Jupiter. And honestly, things can be feeling kind of intense, but what I will say is that the Libra moon will sextile the Leo sun. That's the closing aspect before it goes void at 1:31, which would be an optimal time to take a break, to have fun. If you've been in this obsessive freak out space, maybe it's time to shift gears. If you're obsessing about this particular work project, maybe it's time to take a lunch break, go outside. Again, balance. Success is a balanced lifestyle, and it's hard because if something is going wrong, whether you're trying to fix something and it's why is it not working? Sometimes you just really need to take a break, you need to shift gears, and you never know how that task, how that responsibility, how that text will look as you return. Really resist the tendency to do anything sudden this week. Strive to find clarity, find balance, find a break from it, because with the strong Neptunian energy, there can be certain things that have not come to the surface. And with Mercury stationing retrograde, there can be certain things that we need to review. So striving, especially if you're feeling any sort of urgency, people breathing down your neck, this needs to be done, or you need to sign this, take a beat, contemplate, right? And then the moon enters Scorpio that evening, which can plunge us, yes, into some, intense emotions at times, but feeling everything intensely, wanting to merge deeply within connections. The Scorpio moon does trine Saturn in Pisces, so maybe this would be a aligned time to work on something that you are passionate about, building, anything of the nature. Like this would be ideal to read a psychology book. This would be ideal to take a personality quiz, right? Which condiment am I, right? I wonder which condiment I would be. I wonder if that is a quiz. There is. There's a personality quiz for everything. Okay, the results are in. I'm ranch, which means I'm quiet, humble, and the rock of my friend group. Whenever anyone needs you, you're there ready to support them. I don't know. I don't know if I'm quiet. I have a YouTube channel where I talk for literal hours, so I'm not saying you have to go take that personality quiz. All I'm saying is the energy of Scorpio moon, you could be wanting to dive deep into something, and maybe even the understanding of your own mind would be great to read an astrology book, take a personality quiz, learn about your Enneagram, like anything to better understand yourself. Like I just feel like with the trine to Saturn, it just feels anchoring, or to better understand a loved one with the energy of Scorpio moon. Maybe possibly learn what condiment you are, That's knowledge I have now, although I don't think I'm ranch. Do I give you guys ranch vibes? On Tuesday, the 22nd, is when we have Venus squaring Jupiter as well as Mars opposite Neptune. Now, with the energy of Venus squared Jupiter, we want to feel good. And things can feel good in small doses, right? Like that first slice of cheesecake hits. It's delicious. The second one, you're starting to get a tummy ache. The third one, you feel sick, right? There can be too much of a good thing. A couple of compliments feels really good. But if someone's just showering you with praise, it can make you feel a little uncomfortable. First swipe of your credit card can feel so good, buying that pair of boots that you've been having your eye on. But after you've done damage on multiple boutiques, you're starting to feel a little nauseous and a little resistant of checking your bank account. It's good to feel good. It's good to feel loved. It's good to feel spoiled. It's good to feel pampered. It's good to feel all these Venusian things. With the square to Jupiter, that need and that desire can feel bottomless at this time. And so on Tuesday, I would just say be mindful when it comes to purchasing things. Like I said, question people's motives, question people's intention. Like this is a time, especially with Neptune and Pisces, I just feel like Neptune in Pisces is just the heyday for scammers, right? Like they've been rampant in the spiritual community. And I just want to remind you all, I will never slide in your DMs on some weird, hey beloved, I feel drawn to your energy. Like here's a reading. I trust in the cosmos. I trust that when you feel an urge to book with me, to work with me, I will never slide in your DMs on anything like that. And I have a website for that. I'm not just like sliding in people's DMs. So that's never me. Those are scammers. So I just feel like the scammers are having a heyday. Like now there's been like job scams. If you start to feel a weird feeling, honor that. Take a moment, review. Hey, can I double check that? Hey, can I look in? Sometimes scammers can take advantage of any sort of like panic or urgency or anything of that nature. So just a little PSA with Magic Monday. But all I'm saying with Venus square Jupiter, it's good to feel loved. It's good to shower love onto people. So yes, this would be an aligned time to like give a heartfelt compliment, right? To share the love. This would be a time to be generous, to buy somebody a gift, right? This would be a time to do things that make yourself feel beautiful and powerful, right? To get dolled up. Like Venus square Jupiter just gives me the energy around getting ready. Like for me, getting ready is so based on whichever music I'm listening to. Like there are certain albums, like if I'm listening to Britney Spears Blackout, that album makes me put on so much makeup because I'm just like feeling myself and I don't want the makeup process to end. I'm just putting on more and more and more. And especially if it's like sassy music, I'm like, suddenly I need a wing. Suddenly I need more blush. Or what have you. Like with Venus square Jupiter, it can be that energy. It can be wanting to show off, you're wanting to strut. These are all good things. I just want you to be conscious around, spending 4 hours getting ready in the morning and being late for work. I want you to be conscious around needing everybody's validation to tell you how pretty and beautiful you look, right? Needing everybody's attention on you for you to feel enough. Or needing that energy of just more and more credit card swipes to keep feeling that high, right? Like I just want you to be conscious of that. And the thing is, Venus is retrograde. And I've been so adamant on my YouTube channel, in all of my content, I'm like, this is the time to really source that love from within. Like I talked about it in my Venus retrograde video. I'm like, this is not a time to be a lizard, like dependent on validation and energy from the outside in. It's a time to be a mammal, like generating that love and validation for yourself within yourself. Because when you do that, people cannot manipulate you as easily. And that's what's so frustrating about scammers or anything of that nature, is that they prey on people who are already going through it. Like when it comes to job scams or money scams or in the vibe check of the week, this person promising you this, that, and the other, these wild numbers. Like if you do not have enough, that glitz and glamour gets so much more enticing and you're so less likely to ask questions because you need it, right? When it relates to people who sweep in and put you on a pedestal, if you are not feeling good within yourself, if you're dependent on other people for validation, and this person's telling you everything you want to hear and everything that you were questioning that you weren't, you're more likely to let this person into your life. Because the thing is, when you are a confident, empowered person, when you generate that within yourself, when your confidence is grounded around, I know who it is that I am because I know what it is that I've created. I know what it is that I do for the people that I love. I know my morals. I know my values. Like I'm very grounded in my own essence, right? And someone tries to come into you telling you everything that they think what you want to hear and promising you all of these outlandish things. You're a little bit more skeptical because you're not craving it so badly. You're already full, you're already satiated. So you can kind of be a little bit more discerning. It's not saying you're closed off to new opportunities, but you understand that when it relates to friendships, when it relates to business opportunities, there is a certain balance that is happening there. That's the thing, when we experience scarcity, whether it's of confidence and self-love, resources, when we experience scarcity, oftentimes we don't even have the bandwidth to be skeptical because we need it, right? We need it. If we're not in a great space financially and we're promised this new job, we're a little bit more likely to take out a credit card to buy whatever equipment that they say that we need to buy or what have you, because we need it. And same goes with confidence. If you are not grounded within your own confidence in the person that you are and the light that you shine, and someone sweeps in and is telling you that you're wonderful and beautiful and special and talented and everything that you were starting to get scared of that you weren't, right? Everything that you so needed to hear because you do not feel that way at all. You're more likely to let that person into your life because you need it. And if you've been through this cycle, it broke my heart. I talked about this experience a couple weeks ago with somebody who used this as a manipulation tactic, and it was such a great learning experience because I did not know that it was a manipulation tactic, is love bombing. Like it was a time that I was so low, like I had already gone through it in other arenas, so my confidence was very low. And at that point in my life, I'm very grateful I'm not that way any longer, but at that point in my life, my confidence was very dependent on romantic attention. Like I always had to have a boyfriend, always. I could not be single, I could not be alone. I needed to have someone giving me attention. I didn't know how to sustain myself on my own. I needed other people to validate me, which puts you in sometimes a very scary spot, because when you're scarce, you're more likely to take the offers that are coming your way without pausing and be like, hey, this is a lot. Because again, you're scarce, you need it. So you're a little bit like, okay, yes, 100%. You're not raising any questions like, why do you think I'm so beautiful and talented and special and wonderful? You just met me, right? This is a lot. It's a lot too soon. Your alarm bells don't ring because you need it. You need that validation. You don't realize that it's within you. And that's the essence of Venus retrograde, is discovering that it is within you. But this was the time that I didn't know that, okay? And I let this person into my life, and this is a tactic that many people use, whether it's business opportunities or relationships, where they love bomb you. They put you on this pedestal. And because, a lot of times people think people fall for love bombing when they're narcissistic themselves, self-obsessed themselves. Like, how would you fall for somebody who is telling you that you were this and that? You must believe that. But that's not the truth. Like, I think a lot of times these people crawl into your reality when your confidence is already pretty low to begin with. So when someone's telling you that you are beautiful and wonderful and special and the best and what have you, and you start to relate that confidence, that specialness, as something that exists only within their eyes when they look at you, because they're the one telling you. Again, when you generate it from within, you know it. It's grounded in the things that you're proud of and how it is that you express yourself and all of these tangible things. But when someone sweeps in and you get that validation from them, you start to associate, okay, I'm only beautiful and confident and special when in this person's eyes and when I have this person's validation, which is exactly how these sort of type of people lure you in. Because if you've been through this cycle, firstly, I feel for you. It's so confusing. And secondly, that love bomb phase, it's like, it's over the top. It's extravagant gifts. It's insane showering of attention and compliments. And you are just on cloud nine at first. And then comes another cycle where they're starting to kind of like chip away at you. You just feel like in that moment that person was love bombing you or telling you how special and wonderful you were, you need that validation. You're like, oh my God, so you'll do anything to get back to that space because that's where you think your specialness resides, is this person who was telling you that. And so you don't get lured into that when you already know it. And that's why I'm so big with this Venus retrograde, really sourcing that from within, because you are so much less of a target when you are confident within yourself. You're so much more discerning when someone sweeps in and is being outlandish and excessive and grandiose. You're like, hold on, this is sort of weird. This is sort of a lot, right? I'm already full with myself and you're trying to pour all this on me. Like, hold on, slow down, right? Whether it's this week or in the future, just be discerning if somebody's too much too soon. I'm obviously a proponent of love, and I think it is wonderful when someone sees your specialness right away, but really question, what aspects of myself have they seen to like say all of this, right? Because a lot of times people will put you on that pedestal so they can knock you down, and you're gonna miss the height of being on that pedestal and do whatever this person says in order to get there. And this is sort of wrapped up into Mars also opposing Neptune. Because as it relates to that sort of cycle that I went through, and unfortunately I know just from comments a lot of you went through as well, is that when it comes to Mars opposite Neptune, sometimes people do want to siphon off of you. They love bomb you, they pour into you to hook you in, and then they see what it is that they can take from you. And that's not the only manifestation of Mars opposite Neptune. We'll certainly talk about it. Whether it's wanting your attention or effort, like I just remember when I was in that cycle, was exactly that. I was in a cycle. I was not making any forward progress within my life. And something that should have been a red flag was how drained I felt after like spending time with this person. I always felt so exhausted. Like part of me felt like I had to perform, like, okay, this person is saying I'm so special and wonderful and talented, what have you. I have to like put on the Haley show. So they continue to tell me that and they continue to see me within that. If I fall out of favor with this person, that means I'm not special and wonderful and talented. So I need to like play it up. So that could have been draining. But also I do feel like these are people who want to take your energy. Even in extreme cases, take your resources, right? Take advantage of your hard work, take advantage of your sacrifices. I'm just thinking of Mars and Virgo, or drain your energy, keep you tethered to them and craving that initial hit of all of those promises or all of that love that they poured in you. Like again, with the vibe check, that would be someone who wants to take advantage of your hard work, right? Mars and Virgo, you built this thing and now they want their 20% cut. And with Mars opposite Neptune, it's a wise idea to ensure people's actions are backing up their promises. Like with Venus square Jupiter, this would be in the vibe check, them promising they're gonna make you all this money, like Mars opposite Neptune, but they're not planning to do anything about it. If you have a love offer and this person is promising you that you guys are gonna run away together and you're gonna have this beautiful life, but with Mars opposite Neptune, but they don't take the time to come see you, or they don't take the time to do anything about it, right? To be corny, actions speak louder than words, and actions speak louder than praise. Okay, pay attention to where people place their energy, their actual energy. What are people going to do about it? Like rather than believing when someone tells you you're so special and wonderful and talented and what have you, pay attention to how people treat you. They will tell you how they feel about you via their actions. Like you need to see people's actions back up their promises to you or their praise to you or what have you. Especially with Venus retrograde and Mercury stationing retrograde this week. I am debating whether or not I want to tell a story. If this story stays in, we know that editing Haley was feeling savage that day. But I've just been hearing from you all that everybody's exes are acting up, and that's a Venus retrograde thing. Like with the Venus square Jupiter, this could be showy displays of romance that don't actually materialize into actions or progress forward. That's like Mars opposite Neptune. So I thought I got my Venus retrograde stuff out of the way, just because if you watch Magic Monday, you know there was a whole situation a couple weeks ago, okay? And this person is not that person. So I was like, phew, okay, that was my Venus retrograde thing, I'm done. But then I get a love letter from somebody that I dated. I think we went on 2 or 3 dates in 2018. I am not kidding. And I get this love letter from this individual, And this is never anything that I would share if it was genuine, if it was sweet, but there was something a little odd about this love letter. So firstly, I have not talked to this person for literal years, and all of a sudden they're like, I want to be with you, and this is meant to be, and like they're throwing in all these spiritual buzzwords. There is this declaration. He wrote me this love letter, but it actually wasn't handwritten. It was in DMs. And so I'm like, all right, I'll hear it out, right? I'm a Venus in Pisces in the 7th house at that. I'm a hopeless romantic. I love love, okay? So I'll always hear people out. I'll always read their love letters. And so I'm noticing there's something a little unusual about this love letter. In that firstly, it's sprinkled with a lot of spiritual buzzwords, things like soulmate, twin flame, that I'm like, I don't know if you really know the meaning of that. Twin flame does not equal went on 3 dates in 2018. Now you're looping back in 2023 wanting another shot. Like that's not what that word means. Secondly, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And there's certain phrases that are repeated pretty consistently throughout it, one of which kind of made me raise my eyebrow. And I won't read the whole thing. I'm not gonna bust this person out. The poem starts, or the letter starts, what have you. In the depths of my being, I yearn for a celestial sabbatical. I'm like, where have I heard that before? And then I read a little deeper. This celestial sabbatical is a pilgrimage into her heart, where I humbly offer my time and attention as offerings to the sacred art of truly knowing. It just like goes on, and it really doesn't mean anything. Like these words really don't mean anything. And again, I'm not coming for this person's writing style. I would never do that. But then I realized he did not write this. He did not write this. And a human didn't even write this. Because when you go to my Instagram account, you'll see that one of my only grid posts starts with celestial sabbatical because I was taking a break, because that doesn't even make sense in the way that he utilized it. And when I was going through little buzzwords from my reels, little pieces of what it is that I had said was interwoven into this letter, into this poem, whatever that was. And then I realized this person used ChatGPT to write a love letter. I know all of the writers who are listening right now just shuddered. Because words mean something, writing means something. Like people used to bust out a quill to declare their declarations of love. And you use ChatGPT to slide into my DMs. I couldn't. I could not. Like again, it was 3 dates in 2018. So I'm like, I know there's no way that you possibly feel this way about me. You don't know me enough to feel that way. So I know this is not rooted in anything real. Sure, that was a copy and paste, but I think what he does is he puts people's Instagram accounts into ChatGPT. Again, I haven't played with it a lot, but my theory, because it's literally words and phrases lifted from my Instagram, my theory is that you can just put someone's Instagram and it just like pops out a love letter based on it. So all I'm saying, be discerning. Be discerning. If something feels off, ask questions. If someone is telling you, we're soulmates, I've been thinking about you since 2018, and it's not rooted in reality, like that doesn't make sense. So again, if someone puts an offer on the table this week, I'm not saying it's bad. Review the facts. Mercury stations retrograde tomorrow. Review the facts. Like for me, not that that worked even the slightest bit, because it wasn't well written. It was very much giving AI. Like when I realized that, I was like, this is giving AI. This is AI. Like you did not write this. And I'm a words person. Like words mean something. But if somebody is making you an offer this week, review the facts. Like I had to review, I have not talked to this person since 2018. The praise that they are throwing my way is completely undeserved, and they don't know anything about me. I don't think if I press this person, I don't think they could say 2 things about me, nor myself for them. Like we don't know each other. Why are you yearning for a celestial sabbatical into my heart? Like what? That doesn't even make sense. Like I said celestial sabbatical because I was taking a break from doing readings. What do you mean you yearn for a celestial sabbatical? It does not even make sense. But anyways, all I'm saying here, review the facts. Review the facts. Review the contract. Review the love offer. Review if somebody is pouring praise on you. Hey, what are they possibly seeking to gain here? I'm not saying being paranoid. You know, the moon's in Scorpio on Tuesday. I'm not saying you have to be paranoid, okay? But be discerning. Go slow. Really take your time, because the thing is, on Tuesday, the sun is at the 29th degree. So this in astrology is called the anaretic degree. And it kind of supercharges us with this feeling of urgency, this now or never feeling. And you just need to be cautious when somebody wants you to make a decision right there. Because it can feel romantic in the heat of it, around, oh my gosh, I wrote you this poem. I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to gonna sweep you away. We're gonna go on this trip, right? To get lost in, you know, the passion of the moment, right? That's very Venus and Leo. And while that is romantic, and I'm not saying everybody who does that is doing that to manipulate you, but what I'm saying is that when you're in that rush of passion, you are not thinking clearly. And with the Virgo energy this week, you want to be thinking clearly. Now, to a very practical level, because not all of us are necessarily going to get an offer this day. Editing Haley here, and I just want to be abundantly clear, because I was being coy about it in the video, that people could be trying to sell you the dream, that's Neptune, in order to get access to your Mars-like energy. So in the video, I talk a lot about Mars being a signification of actions, right? To get to your hard work or your service or what have you. But I also want to highlight the other significations of Mars is your physicality. So just be cautious of people trying to sell you this dream, paint you the picture in order to get access to your Mars-like energy. With Venus square Jupiter, you're definitely in the mood to have fun on Tuesday. You definitely could want to be enjoying yourself. With Mars opposite Neptune, you're going to feel exhausted. Straight up, you're going to feel drained. Neptune dissolves what it is that it touches. So you could be feeling drained. There could be a lot on your plate and not a lot of desire to want to do it. It's the end of summer. It's the last day of Leo season. So if possible, you know, I won't tell if you won't tell. Might be a great day to like play hooky, or at least just go to the beach, have some fun, right? Do something. There is this energy running to enjoy life, but just make sure don't do so in excess, right? You're going to want to be enjoying life, eating delicious foods, being around beautiful places, pouring love into those that you love. These are all good things. Venus and Jupiter are good planets. But I just want you to be discerning, because sometimes just because something feels good doesn't mean it's necessarily good for you. And with Mars opposite Neptune, we are not getting a lot of clarity here. And with the Scorpio moon squaring Venus and opposing Jupiter, this kind of adds to this exuberant, excessive vibes of this energetic as well. Do things that invigorate your lust for life. Like with Venus square Jupiter, it's good to feel good. It's good to be around by beauty. It's good to have sweet things and to be sweet towards other people. But with Mars opposite Neptune, listen to your body. One piece of cheesecake is enough. Listen to your body if you do need a break. If you're feeling exhausted, your body could be really calling for you to rest and surrender during this time. As well as listen to your body after you spend time with people, okay? Sometimes when you're around people who are taking energy from you, you can notice you feel drained, like soul tired. Like again, I think we'll all feel a little sleepy on Tuesday just because of the cosmic alignment. But if you notice every time after you spend time with Margaret, you just need to sleep for hours because it took so much out of you, that can be your body trying to tell you something. Because like I said, when it comes to these love bombing offers, like sometimes they could be trying to manipulate you and get something for you, whether it's your energy, whether it's your physicality, whether it's siphoning off your hard work. Just be intentional around where it is that you place your energy, and know every single offer, as beautiful as it may look, as glitzy as it may look, as perfect as it may look, may not be the right offer for you and may not be an offer that you should invest your energy into. Neptune is a mirage. It is a smokescreen. It is things that are too good to be true. It's a movie set, right? It's basically this energy that can make things feel very glamorous and very exciting around, oh my gosh, this person is sliding into my DMs and they wrote me a letter, or like, you know, this management company wants to work with me, and oh my gosh. But Neptune is not real. It's like things that look really good, but then you reach and there's nothing there. So if someone's pouring all this love into you, but their actions are not saying it, if somebody is promising you this, that, and the third for your business, but it's not living up to expectations, if somebody is swearing that they love you, but their actions are not saying it as such, like this could be the energy of Neptune. Like people's actions need to substantiate what it is that they are promising you, the love that they have, the business opportunity that they have. Like there should be an alignment there, and be discerning, ask questions. If someone's trying to be urgent around, you need to be with me or you make a decision right now, that might be a sign that they're trying to manipulate you. Because sometimes our passion, where in the glitz and the glamour of something, works faster than our mind, especially with Mercury stationing retrograde the next day. So take a moment, take a pause. What is being offered here? What are they seeking to gain from me? And is this where I should invest my energy? Just a quick note before we get into Wednesday's forecast. I have to giggle because if you watch Magic Monday, you know that sometimes when I'm talking about a day and it's certain astrological forecast, I start to feel it, or something within my external reality sort of syncs up with that energy. And I just need to highlight that it's a little bit later. I got a new coffee. The angle probably changed. The lighting probably changed. Just because even talking about Mars opposite Neptune, I got so tired. I got hit with the most intense wave of exhaustion. And what I want to say about this, about Mars opposite Neptune on Tuesday, is it's important to flow and not force. Like with Mars opposite Neptune, like flow with where it is that you're feeling inspired, whether that is putting energy towards a creative project, putting energy towards something that spiritually connects you to the universe. You can find when you're trying to put your energy towards the tasks and responsibilities with the opposite to Neptune, your motivation can just feel like it's dissolving into thin air. It can be powerful having our actions, that's Mars supported by a strong Y, that's the energy of Neptune. But when it relates to mundane matters, we might feel less enthusiastic around putting energy towards it. And I just want to say, if something's feeling really heavy, you're feeling very drained, your body might be trying to tell you something. So seeing where it is that you can see anything that might be challenging or frustrating from a higher perspective with this energy of Mars opposite Neptune. Like maybe the delays that you're experiencing and the frustrations that you're experiencing, the setbacks that you're experiencing are a setup. If possible, to see it from that higher perspective, that would be supportive. I also want to highlight here that Mars is our anger, and with Mars opposite Neptune, we can forget why we were mad, right? With Venus square Jupiter, this could also be energy around just loving someone so much that it's like, it's okay. And again, forgiveness is a beautiful thing, especially for yourself. But if there is something where they really crossed a boundary with you, Mars opposite Neptune typically isn't a great time that we're able to enforce or stick up for ourselves, especially when we're so deeply in the heart space, as indicated by Neptune and as indicated by Venus squaring Jupiter. So if you're familiar with the planetary days of the week, you know that Wednesday is Mercury's day. And what a Mercury's day August 23rd is, truly, because around 2 a.m. Sun ingresses into Virgo, which kicks off Virgo season. Happy birthday to all of my Virgos out there. We simply adore you for your wit, for your amazing ability to be able to zero in on minute details in order to make something the best that it possibly can be. We adore you for your helpfulness, for your sense of humor, for your dedication towards being your best self. Hope you all have a wonderful season. You deserve it. It's off to an interesting start with your ruler Mercury stationing retrograde the same day. Now, if you know anything about Mercury, you know Mercury is quite the trickster. And Mercury retrograde is a time that we need to be light with life. We need to giggle at the frustrations or at the snafus that come up, however it comes up, like Virgo season beginning and then Mercury promptly stationing retrograde. It's like, okay, welcome to Virgo season. Here's things that need to be solved, and here's problems to be fixed, and here's things to review. Here you go. With the sun answering to a ruler who is retrograde, discernment, discernment, discernment. I do feel this Mercury retrograde is going to be helpful. It's going to allow us to fix things. But to be able to fix things, you have to be able to A, investigate into them, right? Find the root cause of them, as well as B, acknowledge that there is a problem. Like Mars opposite Neptune the day prior, it can be this escapism. Like I said, motivation dissolves, desire to fight or advocate for ourselves dissolves. There could just be energy around, oh, I'll deal with it later. And it could be frustrating to observe that there is a problem with something. Whether you're observing this within your relationship, within work, like for me, I shared last week, I have this ceiling bubble. Where the upstairs neighbor, their shower drain is cracked, and so it's draining into my ceiling. So I have like this bubble above me. Luckily, we are getting it taken care of. And it could be so frustrating to be like, oh, there's a ceiling bubble. Or maybe you're feeling it at work. Oh, there's a work issue. Oh, there's a problem here. But seeing that there's a problem is the first step to finding a solution. Like I was so annoyed. I was not trying to see that bubble, right? And that's the Mars opposite Neptune. I don't want to see this. I'm getting a weird feeling about this business call, but I don't want to see that. I'm getting a weird vibe by this person who slid into my DMs with this love letter, but I don't want to pay attention to that. It's more fun if I just go along with it, right? Oftentimes when there is a problem, we might just be like, I don't want to deal with this. It's annoying to deal with. But when it comes to Mercury retrograde, welcoming in the problems that arise, like welcoming in, thank you ceiling bubble for letting me know, because who knows how long that shower drain has been leaking for it to have a visual effect on my side. right? Now we know there's a problem, we can move towards solving it. But it had to first see, hey, there's a bubble. Hey, I'm getting a weird vibe about this. Hey, there's a weird clause within a contract. So with the energy of Mercury retrograde, seek to solve problems. Stick to things that are ongoing rather than putting your energy towards new initiatives. Go slow, review, double check, revise. I have a Mercury retrograde in Virgo all signs video where you can find out where particularly you're being asked to take a particularly discerning eye within your universe. So I recommend checking that out. I'll make sure to link it below. But overall with Mercury retrograde, give yourself a cushion. Get yourself a cushion to get where it is that you want to go. Luckily, the sun is now in Virgo, so we can be more likely to be more attuned to our routines, to our tasks, to our to-dos, right? And so with Mercury retrograde, bucket yourself an extra 10 or 15 minutes to get where it is that you need to go. Give yourself extra time to accomplish projects. Keep your work tasks as streamlined as possible. Your mind, you could feel very mentally stressed. There can be a lot on your mind currently. So you really want to seek to facilitate as much peace as possible. Seek to wrap up matters that are already on your plate as painstakingly as possible. Really look at the detail. The devil is in the details. Okay, that's what this Mercury retrograde in Virgo is all about. And it's going to be annoying. It's pointing out various things that are wrong. Hey, there's a drain that needs to be fixed. Hey, we have to fix this car. Hey, we need to review this contract, right? It's giving a little bit too good to be true. Because oftentimes when we get really excited about something, we're not trying to hear any naysayers, but sometimes naysayers can have a point, right? Like me, I tend to get very swept away when I'm like, oh my gosh, and this talent agency wants to sign, like I get excited, right? Like naysayers can be annoying, right? Do you have that friend that you go to who always is the one who like asks questions around, hey, that contract that they sent over, are they asking for things in perpetuity? Like asking the deeper questions. Sometimes it can feel like bursting of your bubble. Sometimes it can feel like bursting of your bubble, especially with Venus square Jupiter. We're riding high. This feels good. This feels exciting. We're getting praise. We're excited to sign this contract. It's almost like Mercury retrograde is that friend who's like, hey, did you check this? And it can suck because you don't want to acknowledge that there's a problem. You want to ride off into the sunset with this new business contract, with this new love offer, with this new friend, right? You think if this feels good now, it will just continue to feel good. But as we know about the brain and just reward system in general, is that the more that we do something, the less reward that we find from it. That first piece of cheesecake tastes good, that seventh, not so much. The first time you go on a date with somebody who's love bombing you a lot, it feels really good. The time that it happens after a fight, it doesn't quite feel as good. Now you're dependent upon it. You want more of it. Like with Mercury retrograde, it's not saying don't be happy and don't enjoy life. Absolutely do. But when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to major shifts coming in and out of your life, read the fine print. Double check, refine, go back, take a moment. Sometimes it can be annoying, like for me, going to those friends who are like, hey, did you check this? Because sometimes things just are, you're so excited. This is so cool. This is so cool. But Mercury retrograde is like, hey, slow down. Let's double check. Let's not allow this excitement and exhilaration to make the decisions for us. We need the facts to validate the excitement. We can get excited once the facts validate it. Like my mentor, she refuses to celebrate a new contract or a new thing within her business until the check is in her account, the contract is signed. Like she refuses to get excited about it even a little bit. She's like, Haley, people can back out at any moment. Things can go wrong at any moment. You do not want to count your chickens before you hatch, because I don't know why I'm giving so much advice in this video. I'm so sorry. You guys came for astrology and I'm just like, here's life lessons with Haley. But I just want to say that if you get into a business context and people are promising you all this money or they throw out a certain number, that is a psychological tip, because in your mind, when you hear a certain number, you mentally think about how you are going to spend it. Like mentally, it almost deposits into your bank account where someone says, you can make $10,000. What would you do with $10,000? Within your mind, you're like, okay, well, I would pay this off and I would do this and I would do that. Mentally, you're already thinking about this money that's not even arrived yet, right? So with this energy, be discerning. It's not saying don't be excited about new opportunities that are coming your way. It's just saying with Mercury retrograde, let's read the fine print. Let's take a second, because we have 2 planets retrograde anyway. So it's like not the most aligned time as it relates to new initiatives. Again, life must go on, right? But read the fine print, double check. And on Wednesday with Mercury retrograde, a common manifestation of this is we can just find there's issues around communication. We're sending the wrong thing to the wrong person. Double check. Double check who you're emailing. Okay. We can find there's technical difficulties. We can find also just in expressing ourselves, in voicing ourselves, we can find that we're getting tongue-tied. It's hard to voice, especially when it's stations. I always feel like I'm like, what are words? How do I talk? So that's just something that I want you to be mindful of. It stations retrograde about midday. The moon is in the sign of its fall, in the sign Scorpio. The moon thrives in Scorpio's opposite Taurus and doesn't particularly like being in Scorpio. And that's a funny part about this week's astrology is that planets are shifting into places that they don't particularly like to be. Like we'll have the moon in Scorpio and then later towards the weekend in Capricorn. It doesn't particularly like being those places. We have the sun shifting out of territory it loves to be in. It rules Leo, so it's thriving there, the luminary of ego and self-expression. It's shifting into Virgo, which is peregrine, which basically means that it's not necessarily dignified or not dignified. It's neutral. But when it comes to how it is that we're expressing ourselves, it's more so through the routines. Like it's so aligned that this is a time that's typically back to school, right? Back to a steady routine. Even though it's still technically summer, it's a shift towards we're getting a little bit more serious. We're getting a little bit more studious. We're handling little details. We're contemplating going back to work or optimizing work, or some of us are getting back into a routine of attuning to our health. Like that's the energy of Virgo. So the sun's fine there, but it's neutral. Who's not happy about where it's moving later this week is Mars. So Mars, the planet of action assertion, ingresses into Libra. So we have all of these planets this week shifting into territory that they're not crazy about, right? The sun leaves its rulership into a sign that it's like, okay. Mars leaves a sign that it was like, okay, to a sign that it's like, because Mars and Libra don't exactly sync up. And the moon goes into Scorpio, which plunges us deep into emotions. And then over the weekend, it moves into Capricorn, which is an emotional attunement to our outer world, which can sometimes be a mismatch. So it's interesting. I just want to say with a lot of planets kind of moving and shifting and changing, there can be aspects of ourself that do feel awkward, kind of adjusting to this energy. So I just want to let you know that that's on the horizon of this week. For a lunar perspective, the Scorpio moon does sextile Mercury in Virgo, so hopefully that will help in finding our voice. The Scorpio moon opposes Uranus, so like I always say with Mercury retrograde, be cautious around technology because sometimes Uranus energy can create technical difficulties or just volatile emotions, random flashes of emotions with the energy of the Scorpio moon. And then so long as you are attuned to the details, going slow, the rest of the day should be a great day to kind of handle your tasks, handle what's on your plate with the Scorpio moon trining Neptune and Pisces. So hopefully you're able to find some peace around, this is frustrating, but we're working through it, right? And then the Scorpio moon sextiles its ruler, Mars in Virgo. So we are having this hardworking energy where there might be difficulties, there might be projects we need to loop back on, or random details that are getting under our skin that we need to fix, but we're feeling more empowered by solving and fixing these issues. And we feel like we're moving forward in essence. So on Thursday, the 24th, so the good news is Thursday is Jupiter's day and the moon does enter Sagittarius around 107. So the moon shifting from territory in Scorpio, which can deal with intense emotions, right, into territory that it's a little bit more optimistic, more inclined to adventure and follow wherever our arrow may point within this wide, wonderful world. But kind of feeling smothered, and our vibe is kind of being killed by the Virgo placements who are just making us attuned to our tasks and responsibilities that can make us feel a little stuck. So firstly, on Thursday, we do have the first quarter moon, which is a callback to last week's Leo new moon. Do let me know, how was that for you? You feel that rebellious, sort of frustrated energy of the square to Uranus? I would love to hear what came up for you. But this is sort of a check-in point. It's a halfway point between last week's new moon and next week's Pisces full moon. Okay, and there can be an energy around with the Sagittarius moon around just wanting to adventure, just wanting to do something fun. But Virgo is like, what about the tasks and responsibilities? And Mercury retrograde is like, what about all these errors that we're finding, right? There's like this desire that we want to escape, we want to feel free, but we're feeling a little stuck. And that's sort of a theme when it comes to this week's astrology, because also over the weekend, I haven't even told you yet, we have the Virgo sun opposing Saturn, which the sun is going from territory in Leo, where it was like heart-centered and loving and let's celebrate and let's be under the sun, to now with it entering Virgo, we have to attune to all of our tasks and rituals and responsibilities. And with the opposition to Saturn, we're feeling very limited by said restrictions and responsibilities. So there's just a vibe on Thursday where we're feeling just kind of stuck. We're feeling kind of frustrated. But I want to make this clear that with the Virgo Mars trining Pluto and Capricorn, you've got this. Everything that is on your plate, you are capable of. Remember how powerful you are. Okay, now the fog is beginning to lift with Mars separating from Neptune, building to trine Pluto. This would be the energy within the vibe check of feeling empowered to read the fine print, dig deep into the contract. And sometimes that can be a letdown. It could be a letdown to realize that you thought that this person wrote you a love letter and they really used ChatGPT. It can be a letdown to realize this agency that you wanted to sign with and was telling you that they're going to do all these things for your career are really just scammers. That's upsetting. And that's the energy of the Saturn opposition over the weekend, as well as the T-square involving Saturn on Thursday, where it's like, I didn't want this. I wanted to get lost in that Venus square Jupiter around. Oh my gosh, this feels so good. But you don't want to be locked into something that's not what you thought that it was, essentially. Like that is a much worse consequence to pay rather than being temporarily disappointed. Like you don't want to jump into this love offer and then realize, hey, this person isn't going to do any of the things that they said that they were going to do, right? They just wanted my energy. Or, you know, getting into this agency where it's like they just won their 20% and they're like ghosting you, not responding to you. And you're like, what was the point of that? Like, what would you rather deal with, right? The harsh truth of the matter or comforting lie that feels good to buy into? Like that's a really important part of this week, and really important to just be honest with yourself and to be okay with temporary sacrifices, temporary disappointments that will lead to the big term gains that you want. And that is genuinely balanced partnerships, relationships, what it is that you really want. You don't want to get into something that's a bait and switch, whether that's a friendship, a relationship, a contract, anything of that nature. You deserve to build something that is grounded, that is aligned with your visions, with your morals, with where it is that you want to go. And sometimes Saturn, as well as kind of the Virgo energy, is that annoying friend who's like, hey, did you double check it? Hey, I met your new partner. I don't really like him that much. Like, hey, that new friend of yours, I saw that she was sticking around your purse. Did you give her permission to do that? That can be annoying to hear, right? These little bits of information that are being pointed out. But again, if you don't listen to it now, you can pay for it later. Again, I'm not advocating for being paranoid this week. I'm just saying sometimes the unfortunate news that you hear is saving you a headache in the long run. And that is the wisdom of Saturn energy, and that is the wisdom of Mercury retrograde in Virgo. And really the ask with Mars trine Pluto is to invest your energy wisely. Like sometimes it can feel like a waste of time. Like I don't want to reread this contract. Like I have so much on my plate, I just want to sign it. But again, people can take advantage of you being in a rush and not being discerning and not asking questions, right? Mars trine Pluto is investing your energy to asking the deeper questions. It's also remembering your power, that you deserve to advocate for yourself. You deserve to allow your needs, your desires to be heard, your questions to be heard as it relates to that bait and switch contract. Asking, did you use ChatGPT to write this love letter? Asking, did you take money out of my wallet when I wasn't looking? Like Pluto energy is about empowering ourselves to go deeper. It's also about empowering yourself to use your energy shrewdly and wisely. Because, you know, Mars and Virgo can be a very busybody energy. Like I know a lot of us have been running around like crazy with Mars and Virgo, just feeling very, very busy. I'm hoping with Mars and Libra this weekend that we are shifting into a little bit more balance within our life. Even though it's not where Mars likes to be, I'm hoping for some balance, okay? But with the energy of Mars Virgo, it can be busy, busy, busy. And with the trine to Pluto, Capricorn is concerned with the bigger picture. So it's also looking at where it is that you're investing your energy and ensuring that it's leading to your bigger picture. Like maybe you had this fancy presentation of somebody saying like, hey, we're gonna do this, that, and the third for your business. But then when you go deeper to your desires, you're like, I don't even want 10 million subs. I don't even want brand deals and sponsorships. It just made it seem all glitzy and glamorous, and they made me this nice presentation. So then it made me, you know, want to buy in. I didn't even want this person, but now they have this exuberant love offer. They're pouring all this praise on me. Like, remember your big picture. Build your energy towards your big picture. And be discerning with where it is that you place your energy, okay? Because like I said, with Mars opposite Neptune, we can be feeling drained midweek. There can be certain things that we've been working towards that we're just like feeling exhausted. So we need to be discerning about our energy and building towards our big picture. as well as being mindful around what sort of energy that you are throwing other people's way and staying focused on your big picture. Because with the energy of Mars opposite Neptune, trining Pluto, you need to understand your energy is your currency. Because let's break down Mars. Mars within astrology is the planet of desire, right? It's the planet of action, it's the planet of motivation, it's the planet of anger. Because desire and anger, those can be two powerful motivators. And whether you are sending someone angry energy or lustful energy, you're still throwing them energy. And from an alchemizing standpoint, like if somebody is energetically sensitive and aware, they can transmute that. You're literally giving them free energy. Like from an astrological perspective, 7th house is about partners, one-to-one context, but also enemies. Like opposite of hate is the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. Like whether someone is obsessed with you in, a desiring sort of way or in a jealous way or what have you, they're still throwing energy your way. And there is an ability to be able to transmute that and use that for yourself. Like if you're ruminating on someone's success, like you are throwing them energy. That is your currency. Put it towards your success. And with Mars trine Pluto, it's basically saying if you feel like there's haters, if you feel like there's enemies out there, transmute that energy into a source of power. They are throwing you free energy. Okay, and you can ground that, you can anchor that. And here's the thing, because last week we had a very Lilith new moon, and part of Lilith is around getting comfortable that there's going to be people who are haters or people who are trolls or what have you. And it's important to understand that it doesn't always feel good when someone is hating on you, but you can transmute it into a source of power. Here's what I'm going to use to illustrate this point. In the vibe check, we said you're a YouTuber, right? Crafting Carrie. And YouTube is a great illumination of how energy works, okay? Especially if you are dealing with like hater energy or people who are like kind of jealous of you or what have you. From a YouTube standpoint, let's say you're crafting Carrie and you post crafts and you get all of these comments of people being like, this is the dumbest birdhouse I've ever seen. How do you call yourself a crafter? Like, this is so stupid. They took time out of their day to write that comment. And also, as it relates to the algorithm, YouTube pushes and derives videos that have more engagement. So you're literally getting paid for every single mean comment. And I want you to think of that from an energetic standpoint, even if you're not on YouTube. It's basically saying every time that someone's thinking about you, whether they're like jealous of you or they're hating on you or what have you, they're sending you free energy. They're sending you some of their currency. And you don't have to let that energy bring you down. Like the energy of Pluto is about reinvention. With Mars trine Pluto, you can transmute that energy. Whether people are throwing you kind of like lustful, desiring energy, or they're throwing you, angry energy, you can either return it back or really with the energy of Mars trine Pluto, regenerate it. This is what celebrities do, okay? Because there's so many people who are so obsessed with them. They throw them all sorts of hateful, crazy energy. They transmute it and turn it into a source of power. That is possible. So all I want to say, focus on your race, right? Don't worry about the people who are plotting on your downfall or who are throwing some weird energy away. Like, just focus on you. Transmute it into ambition to continue to work towards what it is that you are building, what it is that you are creating. Like, again, they're giving you free energy. Like if it's a yucky energy that you don't want, return to sender. But I will say, if you're starting to get well versed within this energy, transmute it into a source of personal power. You can do this. Utilize it to stay focused on your vision, on your target, and continue to move towards it. And just think about it. They're giving you free energy. They're giving you free currency. For crafting Carrie, they're giving you comments, which is driving engagement, which is driving AdSense. So you got to stay focused on that end goal. And like for crafting Carrie, the reason why she's starting to get these sharks that are in the water, that are wanting to, take advantage of her YouTube channel and paint it off as this great opportunity, right, is because there's this new echelon as it relates to the success of what it is that she's built. New levels, new devils, right? New opportunities for learning. So with this energy of Mars trine Pluto, not getting deterred by, wow, that's so disappointed. Someone tried to get me into this predatory contract, or like, oh, wow, that's so disappointing. I thought I made this new friend, but she was like stealing towards me, right? Stay focused. Do not let these people deter you. If anything, it's just a marker of the new elements of your own power that you are developing within yourself that people want a piece of. And don't let them deter you off your chosen target, what it is that you're moving towards. Because not all of us are dealing with people like this who are very manipulative or what have you, but I just want to say these setbacks can be your setup. Because a lot of us are dealing with annoying stuff with Mercury retrograde, honestly. Just annoying snafus, right? Ceiling bubbles, car issues, miscommunications, annoyances. But you gotta stay focused. With Mars trine Pluto, do not let this deter you. Continue to stay focused on your target. Again, reading the fine print, digging deep when appropriate, but do not let it deter you from your race, okay? Do not allow your craft and carry channel to be usurped by people who don't like your birdhouse, right? Do not allow the progress that you've been making on your healing journey be deterred by this person who swept in, promising you all this stuff and then did not deliver. Stay focused. And to a mundane level, this is a powerful day for staying focused on your goals, being dedicated to overcome challenges, which are sure to come up with Mercury retrograde and Sun opposing Saturn over the weekend. Also, it's a powerful day to transmute energy, because what I mean by that is just essentially taking energy and turning it into something else. Because like I said, there's a lot of similarities from an energetic perspective if somebody is sending you adoring energy, or if they are sending you hateful energy, if they're sending you desiring energy, it's still sending you energy, and that can be currency. What I mean by transmuting it is basically turning it into a source of power. Now, we can do this in a very mundane way as it relates to our own energy as well. Like Mars is the planet of anger, so if you're mad about something, putting it into a workout and you shift the energy. Being mad about something, pouring it into your art or into something that you are passionate about, right? It's literally turning that energy into something different, which we can do when other people are sending us this energy as well. So it's basically a reminder, you can shift energy. You can turn how mad, like maybe you dive deeper into that contract, now you're so mad at this talent agency, like how dare they try to pull a fast one over on me? I'm so mad. Like you can continue to use that anger and stay focused on your vision, using it as fuel. Like also them, I'm going to be 20 times more successful on my own without them trying to sell me on a bogus contract, right? Like these undesirable feelings of anger or someone sending us hateful energy doesn't feel good necessarily, but you can use it as fuel to continue to build your big picture. And so while there could have been frustrations, just a blah feeling around wanting to do something fun with the Sagittarius moon, but feeling blocked with the T-square between the Virgo sun and Saturn and Pisces, the evening time should be a little bit more fun with Mars trining Pluto. It'd be a great time for a workout and to put some energy towards a project that aligns with your big picture. And then the Sagittarius moon trines Venus and Leo. It doesn't exact until early on Friday, but we will feel it build, which would be aligned for a delicious meal. Going for some sort of adventure would be great, honestly, for a date night. On Friday, the 25th, it is equally important to both pay attention to the big picture of it all, as well as the fine print, because we do have the Sagittarius moon squaring Mercury in Virgo. Okay, so do not let the Mercury in Virgo keep you sleeping. Like Sagittarius moon is very inclined towards the big picture. What's the vision of it all? And with the square to Mercury, maybe we're so obsessed with the vision for the vibe check. We're obsessed with the picture that they're painting at us around this partnership's going to look like this, or this relationship's going to look like this friendship's going to look like this. We got so obsessed with the vision, but like the details aren't lining up. Okay, you say we're going to have this great friendship, but I can't leave you alone by my person. You say we're soulmates and meant to be, but you needed ChatGPT to write me a letter. You say that you're going to take my business to the next level, yet you have multiple complaints on BBB, basically saying that you guys are scammers. Like basically the details are not matching up with the vision. Now, a way that you can use this energy is attuning to the big picture vision and refining the details to support it. Because Mercury retrograde in Virgo, this is going to be a great time for busy work, like those annoying aspects of your business or of your creative project that are annoying but necessary to support the big picture, right? Like dialing in your automations, doing busy work, handling scheduling, like that facilitates the big picture. And remember that, like I always recommend to my clients who have like strong Sagittarius within their chart or strong Neptune, is I'm like, remember the vision. Like you might just be sending emails, but remember the bigger picture of what it is that you are doing, right? With those emails. Like with these emails, you are supporting your higher mission statement. That's why I always say to those types, I'm like, have your mission statement somewhere or something by your desk that reminds you the bigger picture, because life is a lot of the mundane. Life is a lot of dealing with ceiling bubbles and a lot of scheduling and a lot of email back and forth and a lot of just annoying tasks. It's important to remember what it's all leading towards, whether that's a personal vision of your happiness, personal success for your business, what have you. But it's equally important that don't allow yourself to get so swept up within the vision that you don't pay attention to the details, because Mercury retrograde in Virgo, like those details are the pesky little matters that make up the big picture. So that's really important to pay attention to. It doesn't matter how glittery the vision is that's being sold if the details do not essentially back it up. Because like I said, this is energy around over-promising, under-delivering. And you want to be someone who under-promises, over-delivers, right? And it's honestly kind of lovely on Friday because we have this fire grand trine. And what does fire do? Fire continues to burn. We could throw papers in it, but it continues to burn, right? It keeps going. It keeps its own essence. That's the thing. It's like, if you do have an enemy or someone trying to pull one over on you or what have you, do not let it keep you from shining and showing up. Because again, the brighter that you shine, the more moths are going to be drawn to you, right? The more success that you reach within your business, within your career, the more people unfortunately are going to try you, but you cannot let it keep you from doing what it is that you are here to do, which is shine and shining in the ways that feel true to you. Not letting other people in their vision and them trying to allow you to pull them into their vision, right? Like, oh, we're gonna get this YouTuber under our belt and we're gonna get their 20%, or oh, I'm going to make this new friend, I'm gonna like steal money. Like that's their vision, right? And you don't want to get sucked into somebody else's vision. That's why it's so important to have your own that you are moving towards. And you don't have to have it all figured out, but having your arrow, the moon's in Sagittarius, pointing at something around, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm healing within myself, this is what I want to build, this is how I want to feel day to day, staying focused on that. Because it's in those spaces when we are feeling, low on confidence ourselves and looking for guidance to other people, that does make us a little bit more susceptible for people who may want to take advantage of us. And I know I've said this a lot, but I just want to say I'm not advocating for being jaded or for being closed off. There's so many beautiful people within this world, so many people who will help you grow your business genuinely, so many people who will be a genuine friend, so many people when it comes to relationships that will be someone so solid and who genuinely highlights your confidence, right? Who genuinely knows you and hypes you up, right? And it's just important to save your energy for those sorts of people, that you are discerning and have a vetting process to see the fakes, to see who's made of gold and who's gilded as it relates to attuning to your vision, because you don't want your energy to be siphoned building things, creating things, or falling into other people's narrative. You want to be sure on your own. And I think that's also important with North Node in Aries. So essentially the ask on Friday, pay attention to the details. With the energy of Sagittarius moon, do see how you can inject some fun into your daily activities. And with the trine to Chiron, forgive yourself. Maybe me even chatting about this makes you think of past experiences where you're like, yeah, like I let this person into my life and they weren't great, or yeah, I signed into that contract. Like Chiron can also be about forgiving ourselves, right? Not holding on to that shame or that guilt for not having spot the red flags. Like, you know better now, right? And all you can do is keep going. That's the energy of Sagittarius moon. Stay focused on the big picture and keep moving towards it fearlessly. And then that evening, it's kind of giving headache. There might be a lot of details, a lot of things on your mind. Honestly, with the Sagittarius moon energy, you might be just really trying to get to the weekend. After the Sagittarius moon squares off with Mercury, it is building to square Neptune that evening. So definitely be cautious as it relates to the wine or anything that you want to use to escape. Like with this energy of the Sagittarius moon squaring Neptune, you could feel that you're more tired, you're more drained, or just wanting to check out altogether. So on Saturday, the 26th, overnight, the Sagittarius moon squared Neptune, which can make your dreams pretty interesting. And with the square to Mars, you might wake up and still feel pretty tired. And there might be kind of a heavy vibe over the weekend. I won't lie to you. You do have a Capricorn moon weekend. It's not saying that it's a bad placement, but it is saying it's not comfy there. And just with the energy of the moon in Capricorn, we might be trying to vibe, trying to enjoy ourselves, but our responsibilities are getting in the way. We're trying to have a good weekend, but we keep looking at the ceiling bubble, being like, oh my gosh, that's so ugly. When am I gonna get that fixed? Or we're trying to live it up, but there's errands and responsibilities and cleaning. And keep in mind, we have a Virgo sun, so we're really noticing everything in terms of details, and random details are getting under our skin. With Venus also retrograde, you can notice that things just feel less beautiful. Everything might just feel messy and gross, and you're just getting annoyed by things. You're trying to enjoy yourself and have fun, but there's just hindrances as it relates to the weekend. And again, don't cancel your plans, still have fun, okay? Just make sure that you are attuning to your responsibilities, because if you're not, it's going to be hard to like enjoy yourself because it might just be like a pesky fly that you can't quite swat off. And on Saturday, honestly, being productive is going to feel good. So it might feel good to do one thing productive. Maybe you tackle cleaning out your closet and you can enjoy the rest of the day. Like I'm telling you, over the weekend, you might find it's easier to enjoy yourself when you do at least one thing that you've been putting off, especially with the Virgo sun trining the Capricorn moon. It can feel good to get stuff done. The Capricorn moon then sextiles its ruler, Saturn and Pisces. It feels good to get things done, right? Even if it's just one task that's on your horizon before you go to the beach or anything of that nature, that would be helpful to get done. And we are now in the waxing gibbous moon phase as we build to next week's Pisces full moon. So this is a moon phase about essentially setting the scene before the big lunation. So I just want to let you know that the closer we get to the full moon, the more emotions can feel bigger and bigger. And this is a very interesting full moon. I'm very curious what's going to come up. A lot of you know I'm a full moon baby. My sun is at 7 degrees Pisces and my moon is at 7 degrees Virgo. And this full moon next week, the sun is at 7 degrees Virgo and the moon's at 7 degrees Pisces. So that is exactly on my sun and moon. So I'm very curious what's stirring in the cosmos. If I was my own astrologer, I would say, girly girl, let's talk about next week. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. What you need to know now is that there is this building energy. You can be refining, editing, dialing into the details. Again, things might feel overwhelming, right? There's like things around your house you need to clean, responsibilities, and you could just feel overwhelmed. Your energy is drawn into a lot of different directions. But handle little matters first. Again, little things lead to big things. That's a part of Virgo season. And allow yourself to see if you can handle things, be productive, move towards your big picture, while also enjoying yourself in the interim as well. And Sun opposite Saturn technically exacts very early on Sunday, but I want to let you know on Saturday it is building. And Sun is ego and identity. With the opposite to Saturn, there can be sort of a gut punch, like an ego check. You know, when this talent manager is saying you're doing so amazing, your crafts are so creative, right? You had this new friend who's telling you how talented and beautiful and wonderful you are. You have this person who's sliding into DMs, writing you love letters and whatnot. Like again, that can feel good to allow our ego to be puffed up. And over the weekend, there's sort of like an ego punch, right? Like that feeling when the love bombing stopped, that feeling when you ask that talent manager some extra questions and the vibe shifts. Like again, with Saturn, it's just spelling out needed reality checks, but that doesn't make it hurt any less. And I just want to say over the weekend, you are not seeing things clearly. You are viewing yourself and your life through a Saturnian lens, literally hyperfixating and focusing on everything that is wrong, everything that's not there. So it's almost like looking around your house like everything is dirty and broken and I hate all of it, or like looking at relationships around everything is wrong and I'm annoyed with you, right? And so that's what I'm saying. With this Virgo energy, take things into your own hands as you can. Like your entire house might be stressing you out, but maybe you could just handle one little project today. Handle the closet, right? You might be writing something, you just want to tear it all up because all of a sudden it feels horrible. Like use Saturn's discerning eye to refine, dial into the details. And again, sometimes being hyped up and put on a pedestal, it might feel good to an essence, but you deserve to live a life that is very grounded. People who genuinely see you and celebrate you and aren't hyping you on a fake vibe. Like Sun opposite Saturn is the friend, essentially keeps it real with you. Like, hey, I don't know about that new friend who's bringing around. This might be tough to hear, but I don't know about that. That might be the realization of that someone who slid in your DMs used ChatGPT. That could be the realization that this is somebody who's trying to take advantage, which sucks. It can also be an ego punch around, wow, why did I believe it? Why did I believe the love bombing? Why did I believe this talent agency was going to make me lots of money? But again, that was like the essence that I was trying to get to with the Sagittarius moon trining Chiron on Friday, is like forgiving yourself for that. With every new level of your life, there's new challenges that await, new, people who could try to take advantage of you not knowing within that arena. And through every experience, you get wiser. Like in the experience that I shared around being love bombed really, really heavily, that will never happen to me again. I will never allow that to happen to me again, because that will raise every alarm bell ever when somebody is that intense. That will never happen to me again. Like you get wiser every single time. Like if you get scammed once, that will not happen again. Now you're wise. And that's the thing. Saturn dishes out reality checks that sometimes are like kicking the gut around. Can't believe I thought that new friend was genuine. Wow, I can't believe I was going to get back with my ex and that it was going to be different this time. Wow, I can't believe I signed with that talent agency. Like with the energy of Sun opposite Saturn, it's forgiving yourself. You might feel a little down on yourself. Take the lesson and keep it moving, right? Keep it building with the Capricorn moon. So on Sunday, the 27th, like I highlighted, I talked about it a lot in the 26th portion, but I just want to say that when it relates to Sun opposite Saturn, on Sunday, no less, how rude is that? Not on Sun's day, but with Sun opposite Saturn, you could be being very hard on yourself, especially with the moon in Capricorn. Like, this would really be a lovely time to celebrate yourself. Because like I said, the more that you can fuel that from within, feeling genuinely proud of yourself, feeling confident in a very grounded way, right? The less likely people can sweep in and try to promise you all of these things, right? The less scarce you will feel within your own being, needing validation from people who may not have the best intentions for you. You need to be disciplined, that's Sun opposite Saturn, about creating your own confidence and feeling grounded within it. Because confidence is essentially grounded around you trusting in yourself and knowing your worth and knowing your value and knowing your accomplishments and knowing the way that you love and feeling grounded within it. And knowing that sometimes confidence is built through discipline. It's not taking the easy way out, right? It's not signing the first contract that comes up when you know that you are worthy of something more. It's not taking the first love offer that comes your way. It's not just letting any new friend into your life and into your purse right away, right? It is this energy of discipline. Like with Venus square Jupiter, it feels good to swipe your card a lot. It feels good to eat a lot. Like it feels good to do these things, but is it allowing you to move forward? Like with Sun opposite Saturn, this is delayed gratification energy around. There might be certain offers that are on the table or certain activities that come your way that you're kind of being asked to have a little bit of discipline around, right? And that can be a genuine source of confidence, right? Like really developing that self-trust around, I know no matter what, I am going to honor this commitment to write a chapter every single day. Whether I'm super inspired or whether not, I know I'm going to show up and write that chapter. I know I'm going to go for a walk every single day. Like these are things that our confidence is grounded within, right? It could feel good to be like, oh, you're the most talented, special, beautiful person, but it feels better to earn that for yourself and to see it for yourself and to have it validated by your efforts. Be like, I know I'm talented because I built this business. I know I'm loving and generous because I've built these amazing relationships with genuine people in my life. I know my worth because my actions back it up, because my discipline backs it up. And when you're grounded in your confidence, you're less susceptible for meanies out there, okay? And another theme that I want to chat with you about on Sunday is that Mars, the planet of action and assertion, ingresses into Libra. As I highlighted earlier, this is not a position of dignity for Mars. Mars doesn't like it here. Mars is about war, getting what we want. And Libra is about peace and harmony and balance. So it's not a harmonious fit. So you can notice, just like the scale, your energy levels might feel like they are going back and forth. When it comes to advocating for yourself, you could notice that you're a little bit more inclined to ensure that the other person wins rather than advocating for your own best interest. Again, it could be gifted for compromise, but with the energy of Mars and Libra, you could be prioritizing peace beyond your own genuine needs when it comes to the matter. Know that the Libra sector of your chart will be supercharged with the rush of energy. And also know that with Mars in Libra, when it comes to our work efforts, like with Libra, I'm hoping and praying that this is creating more balance, right? Like with Mars and Virgo, this could be workhorse energy around doing the best and being the best way we possibly can. Like Mars trine Pluto midweek could get, like Mars opposite Neptune on Tuesday is a little draining, but Mars trine Pluto on Thursday, this is like really, really powerful energy, like getting lost in the task at hand. And then over the weekend with Mars entering Libra, it's important to find that balance, making sure our relationships feel balanced, that it's not all one-sided, someone pouring into us and obsessing over us before we can even ask questions, right? It's not, business partnerships where there's so much praise that we're not getting the space to ask the fine print details. It's really this even back and forth around, okay, what's in it for you? What's in it for me? Is this balance? Is this fair? And really with the energy of Sunday, we have this amazing Earth Grand Trine. If there are DIY projects, make sure to watch DIY Darcy's channel. Just kidding, that's a fictional person. But if there are DIY projects that you've been wanting to dial into, this would be a great weekend to do it, right? Like again, with so much Virgo in the cosmos, sometimes we can get the ick about things. Like I said, everything can feel dirty and gross and wrong. And this is a weekend to take things into your own hand. What's getting under your skin? What is it that you want to fix around the home? What are the projects you want to work towards? It's a very productive rush of energy kind of coming in over the weekend. Of course, with Mercury Retrograde, I wouldn't do anything like try to reroute your own electrical or anything wild, but it is helpful for the details that will improve our life, especially with the Earth Grand Trine. And I just want to say on Sunday, middle of the day with Capricorn, Moon squaring Chiron, there can be pangs of sensitivity, but again, on Sunday, great time to ground down into your environment. Do something productive, go outside. Like make sure you're balancing, right? Working on productive projects, going outside to go to the park, right? Spending time alone, spending time with others. Like we really are striving to move forward in a very balanced way. And there can be a danger this weekend of getting obsessed with this idea of perfection. We need to be cautious of that with the sun now in Virgo, is chasing perfection and getting so absorbed into minute details that don't even factor into the bigger picture, right? And with the Virgo sun opposite Saturn, you could just be honing in on different details. You could just feel like whack-a-mole, the arenas of your life around, okay, we finally cleaned out the closet and now there's this new issue. Understand the to-do list will never be completely done. Understand that. It will never be done. There will never be a day where it's like, I did absolutely everything. There's always something that you could be doing. And with the energy of the moon in Capricorn, you need to understand that you are the CEO of the business of you, right? Of your own LLC. And what I mean by that is you as the boss, right, of your life, you need to decide when you are off, when you have done enough, because there will be a temptation with Virgo sun around it is never enough. And now with Mars entering Libra, there is a call for balance. So understand that to-do list will never be completely empty. You will never have absolutely no projects to do around the home or absolutely nothing that you can do with your time. You need to decide that for yourself. You need to pencil in breaks for yourself. Do things productive this weekend. It's very powerful in regards to that, but also ensure that you've done enough. And with the energy of the Virgo sun opposite Saturn, it'll never be good enough. It'll never be perfect enough. There will always be things that you can zero in on. There's always something that could be better, and that can drive Virgo placements' minds wild. Is that there's always little things that could get under your skin. And you know, this is going to be hard advice to absorb with the Virgo sun Capricorn moon, but we do need to know the value of good enough this Virgo season, because there's always going to be minute details that could be better, right? There could always be something that could be more dialed in. But you just need to see the value around, okay, we cleaned the closet, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing, but it's good enough. We got organized, we got clarity, it's good enough, I'm going to take a break. Know the value of good enough. And when it comes to the energy of Virgo, it is a sign that's associated with perfectionism. And because of this, it can also be a sign that has to deal with themes of guilt or shame. Like if you know that line, I think it's from a Marina song, but she says like, I feel like I'm the worst, so I always act like I'm the best. Like I feel like that's such a Virgo theme. I think she has Virgo Venus, Virgo Mars, if I'm not mistaken. And I think what people misunderstand about Virgo energy is like the energy can come off as very kind of like know-it-all, or like they think that they're better than other people. But trust me, if you were to dive into a Virgo's mind, no Virgo thinks that they're better than other people. They just come off that way just because of how it is that they process the world and they absorb details. So they'll tell you the details that they pick up, which can be quite critical. But trust me, no matter how critical they are externally, they're much harder on themselves within their own minds. So like when you look at the world through that detail-oriented eye, there's constantly things that you feel like could be better about yourself. Know the value of good enough. It's good enough. My appearance is together enough. This closet is clean enough. This report is dialed in enough, because you could just obsess and find all sorts of details and you're going to waste a lot of energy in that. Do the best that you can do. Hold yourself up to a high standard, but notice when it's getting obsessive, because Virgo energy can be very neurotic about details that don't necessarily add to the big picture. So my love, that is our week. The Magic Monday mantra of the week is, I am discerning with where I place my energy. Truly, your energy is your currency, and that's never been more true this week. And with Mars opposite Neptune, just be discerning with people who try to sell you the dream. Do not invest too much energy until the facts and the figures back it up, right? You've seen the actions that back it up, the contract backs it up, because I've highlighted this before, but it's truly dangerous to navigate this world thinking that everybody has the intentions that you do and the heart that you do. And that's important with Venus and Leo squaring Jupiter and Taurus, is it feels good to give love. It feels good to trust. It feels good to let people in. It feels good to be loved. It feels good to be praised. And sometimes with the energy of Mars opposite Neptune, we're not being clear on who could actually be an enemy or who could actually be an adversary, right? And so it's just important to use discernment. And if something feels off, it might be. Ask more questions. Don't be afraid to dive deeper with Mercury Retrograde. Don't be afraid to uncover something temporarily unpleasant, right? Because it's so much more unpleasant to discover this in 2 years' time after you're locked into the contract, or in 3 years' time after you're in a relationship with this person who's phony and who plagiarizes all their love letters to you, right? Like sometimes you have to do your due diligence in this life, and don't just allow yourself to navigate thinking that everybody has the intentions that you do, because you are valuable. Your energy is valuable. Your talent is valuable. There can be moments where it's kind of like a gut punch this week with Sun opposite Saturn, whether it's responsibilities that are bringing you down, challenges that are bringing you down, right? And that can be energy that we lower our defenses, because when someone's selling us on something that seems like the answer to our problems, like, oh my gosh, this talent agency is going to take me to this next level. Oh my gosh, this new friend is going to make me feel less lonely. Oh my gosh, this new person in my life, they're going to be my soulmate. They're selling us this dream, but Neptune energy is like there's nothing there. And that can be disappointing to realize. I'm telling you, you deserve to live a life and to build connections, whether that's in business and relationships, that are grounded, right? That are anchored. So if you made it to the end of the video, firstly, thank you for watching to the end. I know I'm quite chatty over here, and so I appreciate you listening and starting or navigating or ending your week with me. Drop a little charging emoji below so that I know that you watched till the end. My Instagram handle is @HaleyCometAstrology. My TikTok is the same. I would love to connect with you over there. And until we meet again, drink lots of water, stay